Hey everyone, it's your boy James, Grendel's Garage, and I hope you scallywags are doing well. So what we did is we actually removed one of the base gaskets from the Menace 85, torqued the head down to 12 foot-pounds. So we're nice and torqued down, and what I wanted to do is go ahead and get a measurement for our squish just to kind of see where we're at. Provide you guys as much information as I can. Get in there. Alright, so once I get that, make sure I'm against the cylinder wall, up high, against the head. Let's go ahead and compress this bad boy. Ooh, man. Much more squish than with the one base gasket. Let's go ahead and get that measured out. Get our handy dandy calipers. One of the best tools that I have bought for this hobby. Get us zeroed out. Alright. I'm gonna step over here so you guys can see. Let's go ahead and see what we get here. Go sideways on this so you guys can see what we're gonna get. Towards the front. Down the middle. So here's the dealio, guys. If you remove one base gasket, you are right in the danger zone, in my opinion. You are right at that 0.61 in this case. Let's go ahead and go a little bit further up on here on the solder just to kind of see if we're consistent. See, a little bit further up on the solder, we're actually below into the mega danger zone. So, what does that mean? I would say that you're probably going to want to run this with two base gaskets is what I'm seeing, guys. I know the guys at Smoke Performance tested it with one base gasket and got quite a bit of horsepower. Don't quote me off the top of my head. I want to say they achieved 7 to 8 horsepower, but they're I think even they said that you're better off running with with two base gaskets, excuse me. So if you guys want to risk it for the biscuit, you definitely can, but you're going to lose longevity in your engine. Just kind of wanted to get that out there and just kind of show you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tear apart the engine again, and I'm going to go ahead and put the second base gasket down. When I do that, we'll go ahead and torque the head down again and actually get another measurement and see where we're at. So go ahead and stay tuned, guys. Thank you so much. Alrighty, everyone, we are back. We have the two base gaskets back on. The head is torqued down to 12 foot-pounds of torque. We're going to go ahead and compress. And see what we get for a number. Make sure we're zeroed. 0. Let's go ahead and get you guys a number. So once we're compressed, we're approximately at the 1.12. Let's go ahead and scoot forward just slightly. Completely compressed, we are 1.06, which I am totally happy with, guys. Again, I think really that sweet zone is that 1.0 to 0.8. I think that is money for longevity. Still pretty happy with that compression. And then also to remember, guys, as this motor starts breaking in, these base gaskets are going to compress a little bit, so we'll even hit more of the sweet zone later on. Awesome possum. If you guys want to stay tuned, I'm going to go ahead and check out these clutch pads. I'm going to go ahead and take it apart and all that jazz. So stay tuned. Alrighty, guys, we are back. It is another day. Got a little late last night for filming and stuff like that, and I had to get some sleep. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the old clutch. see what is good in the hood. So after talking to Kurt a little bit from Smoke Performance, I think he did say this comes with the not necessarily so good clutch plate. Oh man, that's in there. The thing is on there tight. It's tight like a toiga. Oh, maybe. Jeez Louise, dude. Not trying to break the flower knot right off the back. It's freaking in there. I'm pulling in the clutch right now just to relieve a little pressure. You can see my actuating over here. See if I can, okay, get close. Ooh, yeah, baby. Alrighty, guys. Well, there's a look into what we got for the clutch. These are a little bit more brown, it looks like, versus, here, I'm going to grab the other ones that I've used before, which are not recommended. Alrighty, so these are more of your legitly pencil erase ones. You can kind of see a little bit different color. So I do wonder if these will perform a little bit better. Doesn't look like they were shaped to fit in there. You can kind of see like this one especially is like really, really crushed in there. So that's gonna be a little bit of a pain in the booty to take out, but that's okay. What I'm gonna end up doing, guys, is I'm actually gonna take all these out and either get some green ones, which Kurt recommended are pretty good, or actually get the Smoke Performance hardened ones, which is probably what I'm going to get, just to buy once, cry once kind of a thing. So, yeah, there you go. That's what she looks like, guys. Not a whole lot of anything special there. I will be using our boy Kevin's tool that I won in one of his lives to go ahead and remove these. Let's go ahead and see if we can actually snag one out real quick with this. Basically just take that and twist them in there. Gotta get some bite in there though. Once it gets in there, it basically just pulls it right out. I've done this a few times. Some of the other engines, let's see if this goes in there. Yeah, there you go. And then it's just gonna pull it right out of there. It's a little bit of work, especially when you got so many to go. But this thing is awesome because it works so well. Boom! Bada bing, bada boom. Thank you so much, Kevin, for this tool. I love it. Super nice. Does the job well. That's a nifty little tool. You could probably jimmy rig something like that. Maybe put like a screw, grind it down and put it into an actual drill. Might work just as well. But sometimes I kind of like the slow process. I know a lot of guys like to use their Dremels and go hacksaw crazy, but I'll tell you the truth, guys, I'm a file guy. I like my files. I use the Dremel a lot, but I like my files. But basically, once you get these out and you go to replace your new ones, what you want to do, and again, I just take a file. You could use sandpaper, it works just as good. Probably even a Dremel with a little sander wheel, and just kind of, you want to shoot for the same shape as these, as where it came into, and then when you go to put them back in, you actually want these to float. And what I mean by float, so you can obviously tell these ones are smashed in, they're not floating. When you put them in with the sanded down one, you want them to just rock right in there. Just a little, not like a tight fit, but just maybe a little tiny snug, and you just want them to sit right there. Also too, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 2, skip a gap, 1, skip a gap, and go 2. Basically what that will also do is you're going to have more force and more pressure on the pads that are in there once you do that pattern. If you have them all like this, nothing wrong with that, works great most of the time, but because this engine potentially has a lot more power, especially I would imagine the low end too. But because it has more power, if we get more pressure on that plate, it's going to help the clutch from slipping or anything like that. So that should be pretty good. Look at the back of the clutch plate. Looks good though. There's no rust on this bad boy. What you can also do is rough this up with some really not fine sandpaper, the other one, more grit sandpaper, and kind of get this nice and scratched up. And you're not trying to smooth it out at all. What you're actually trying to do is just get a bunch of scratches on there, and that will also too get a little bit more grab on there. I almost wondered too. You also have some bearings in here, so you can kind of see how that's spinning right there. You have a bunch of bearings that are behind that plate right there, and every once in a while I've heard that you can actually get a little grease in there. But if you do that, you do want to be careful to not get grease on the pads, because if you get grease on the pads, it's going to be game over, because then it's just going to be slipping all the time. I don't know. I know a lot of guys don't do that, but I know some guys do actually go ahead and put a little grease in there every once in a while. So that's probably more of a preference thing than anything else. It's kind of interesting though. These are definitely not like the same. They feel a little harder. The material feels harder than like these ones. These ones are like, literally, it feels like a pencil. Like if I had, I don't know, it literally feels like a pencil. Do not recommend these guys. They suck. Just recently put those in the old Super Rat, and I did the pattern, and I got that clutch nice and super tight, and it was slipping so bad. So don't get these ones. Get the green ones, or get some harder ones from Small Performance. But alrighty guys, I think that's a pretty intuitive video. Second video of the Menace 85, and a little bit more of the different stuff going on. Oh, hey, before I forget too, I was talking to Kurt a little bit too. We do have a little bit of pitting up in this cylinder, and I was just asked him, hey, this good to run, all good? And he says, yep, looks like it'll be fine with what's going on in there. But also too, I found out these are actually nickel seal in the cylinder versus chrome plated, which is way better. Nickel seal is some really good coating stuff, and for longevity and all that stuff, that's going to really help out this cylinder. So again, if you guys saw those little pitting in the cylinder, I think we're going to be just fine, especially if it is nickel seal. It's not ideal. I mean, obviously we want like a perfect cylinder, but again, this is still a China doll. But the fact that this is nickel seal is pretty sweet. Can't prove it. I don't have like a chemical test or anything like that, but I definitely trust their opinion and what they're going to say on that. So cool, guys. The next time you see this motor, we'll go ahead and get the hardened clutch pads on there. Maybe make a video about that, maybe not. It's really just that simple. Use some kind of tool, get those out of there, do the pattern. We'll size them up and then put them in there and then go from there. So besides that, hopefully you guys see it on a bike, and we are ripping. It's going to be quite a while. I've been really doing a lot with my video editing, and we are getting pretty far ahead, which has been really great. It's been really kind of helping me out at work and not stressing about getting a video out every week and stuff like that. So cool, guys. Thank you so much. It's your boy James, Kendall's Garage, with the Menace 85.